Hi, hello everyone. My name is Jose Luis Benjamin Crawford Gutierrez, and this is Life Through the Metaphors, Task 3 of English 4. Let's start. Now, in this moment, we are going to start with a thought or the metaphor of Benjamin Franklin, that was an important politician of the United States. And his thought or his metaphor is a good conscience is a continual Christmas. If we think about Christmas, Christmas is an important moment of all the society. It's a great moment of joy and happiness. So I understand of this concept as when you have a good conscience, that means that you are enjoying all the things that you feel free, happy, that you don't have any kind of bondage or kind of blockage in your life, that you feel full and plenty in all the situations and you feel like you have achieved the maximum stuff. Okay, in this moment, we're going to start with the story a little bit. I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story, and then I'm going to get focused in my opinion. And I hope that this is not going to be disrespectful. I'm going to tell the things in the way that I'm thinking. So sometimes I'm not the best lecturer for this. First of all, it's kind of difficult the situation that she lived. Something similar happened to me in several moments of my life. But, well, that's another story. The idea or the main core of this was that she was a young girl around 16 years old, and she tried to be fit because she wanted to be a professional soccer player, and she was training constantly in her bike, doing acrobatics, trying to be fit and trying to get into what she wanted, that was like have the perfect skills for everything. But some neighbors were complaining, actually more than complaining, they were gossiping that she was doing something bad, that maybe she had a boyfriend, and those rumors were listened by her mom. And the nicest thing of this is that she proved to her mom, who was a little bit at the beginning a little bit worried, that she was doing what she wanted and it wasn't a bad thing. She was focused into her goal, and that it wasn't an important thing what the neighbors were telling. The important thing was what she was doing, that was the correct thing. And that's how a diamond is. It's not brittle. That means if the other person say, or if other people say you are like doing something bad, that person doesn't crumble. It continues being what he is or what she is, and he or she does what he has to do. And at the same time, it, you feel free, like she was, or like she felt in this case, because she did what she had to do. Okay, in this moment, I'm going to do the assessment of Lisbeth's work. First of all, I want to congratulate you, Liz, especially because you have improved a lot. I'm perfectionist, and because of that, I have highlighted a lot in red, but it's not because it's bad, it's because we could find a better way to tell it. So please be patient with me, especially because my sight is really bad. I feel like a mole sometimes, so I have to like read slowly and try to catch the idea. So let's start. First, it says I was on my 16 as a school student in Cucutilla. I would have changed it into in 2016 uh, when I was a student or a student at Cucutilla. At that time, I used to ride my bike. I wouldn't put the years, but okay, it's something that you put, so I respect it. I had both good and bad experiences, not experience, because experience is one, and we're talking about a bunch of experiences. Okay, prior to this, before that moment, I would have changed it because prior is not so common to use it. I was a shy person and I didn't speak with anybody or use a kind of connector over there. Uh, and then maybe a period or other kind of a punctuation sign. I would say period is good. At that time, I only had two friends. I would have put in that part. Now I had two friends. Try to use more connectors. My dream was to be in shape. It says was in shape. so it's not fitting, by riding a bicycle or riding bicycles, and to become a professional soccer player or soccer player. So is to add other words that are over there. I lived with my mom, who was a housewife, and you have to use a definite. Remember, some relative clauses, you have to use them over there. Um, let's continue. One day, my mother told me a rumor about me, and in that time for me. So it sounds a little bit redundant. Me. One day, my mother told me something that the people were telling about me, something like that. Okay, I felt confusing because I didn't do anything related. Relation is other thing. It's a noun and is related. Yeah. I don't know why people said things really false. I don't know why people told things or told fake things or false things. Remember that it's you have to organize that idea in another way. There, okay, let's continue. And went to ride bicycles where the guy lived, because it's in this case is a reported speech and you are talking about something that already passed. So lived, no lives. It doesn't true. It wasn't true because it is not. Yeah, you have to use the verb to be, and in this case, because it's reported or reported speech, you have to use was. Um, I said my conscience is quiet, unique. No, I would say my conscience is okay, or was quiet, or was calmed down, and so that part is like a little bit with extra words, so you have to at least erase them. My mother asked it. I said, sorry, I can't read. It's kind of difficult for me. Okay, my mother asked me about it. Um, Maybe you have to correct it in that way. And I told, I didn't have a boyfriend. That was like the same reported speech, not is, it's in the past. Remember that the reported speech is always about past. Yeah. No one guy called my attention, and no guy or no man attracted my attention or drew his attention on me, something like that. Okay, to change the idea. Because she believed in me. Over there, you say she believes. And remember, every single thing, actually, most of the things that you are telling, because they are in reported speech, must be told in past, in one way or in another way of past. In this case, it would be simple past. Uh, One day, I suggested to my mother to go with me. You are skipping one article in this case, sorry, article no, one connector that is two. She now knows where I went. Okay. That part, I think that you could write it in another way, but I think that is possible to let it in that way. I talked and said to them, I told them, it's not so good to say I talked and said. No. I told them direct. And in that part, worry about your life and mind your own business. Remember that there are some expressions that are set up, are pre-established, and because of that, you have to use them in order to sound like natural. And don't plague my mom. And it's kind of difficult, that expression is like, and don't disturb to my mom. Yeah, something like that. And the last part, it says, don't invent situations, don't invent fake or false situations. Okay. Again, I want to apologize because it's kind of difficult to read for me. I did it in this way, and I didn't expect that it would be like trying to read what an ant is writing, something like that. Okay, so let's see. I learned don't worry about others' lives, or somebody said. Well, in that case, is to conclude, the most important thing is don't be involved in others' lives. Let them live. Let them be themselves. something like that. But I think that you can let it in this way, or you could rearrange it in another way. The consequence was grateful because nobody is inventing the same. The consequence uh, was grateful. You could use another adjective, another, and because nobody was inventing other things that aren't true. And for me, that situation is and was better, something like that. Yeah, I wasn't infiltrate. No, in a known situation. So I wasn't infiltrate is not the correct way to say, because infiltrate is more like a spy. In this case, you have to say I wasn't involved in another uncomfortable situation. But the other part is okay. And now to close this part, the lesson that led you to your partner's experience is like mind your own business. That means do the best, try to give your best. You can give an advice, but don't talk about other people because every single paths are quite different from one to another. And the only thing that you can do is just give an advice and go ahead. If the other person wants it, it's good. If the other person doesn't want to take it, it's also good. So be respectful. Now, in the last part, I have to give three advices about the situation that she lived. And the first one is mind your own business. That means do what you have to do in your life. Maybe you can give an advice, but don't talk about the others because you don't know how hard the life could have been for them. Second one could be like trust in your family and give all the strength bonds in order to keep your family together. I would say it's really important because if her mom wouldn't have trusted in her, the situation could have been really difficult, especially because she was a teenager at that time. Is everything is difficult at that time. And the last advice that I could have given, well, that I can give about that experience is like um, when you want something, you have to be like a diamond. You have to be strong. You have to be resistant, and and just receive all the punches of your life and keep going. Don't stop because that's the goal, and you have to fulfill it. Well, thanks a lot, and I hope that you have enjoyed this kind of work. I'm really honest. I'm really tired because this week has been really, really long, but I tried to give my best. Thanks a lot.